My name is Angela.
My name is Nicole.
And welcome to the Ominous Stitch podcast. Hello, Stitchers.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to another awesome, amazing Take a Stitch episode of the Ominous Stitch podcast with your host, Angela and Nicole.
Hey.
I just felt like very broadcasty there for a second.
You had to, right? That's fine.
I love it.
You're cute.
Oh, yay. It's fall. It's finally feeling like fall here in California.
Sort of, yeah.
And I'm so excited. We have some very fall inspired things coming your way for our crochet time, for our stitch time today. I'm really excited about this blanket and this pattern.
Okay.
And so I'll be excited to talk about that when we get stitching. And then what do we have coming up for story time today?
Today's story time. So we want to continue the haunted bars and restaurants.
Yeah, yo.
But we're going to the west of the Mississippi.
The west of the Mississippi.
So
nice.
Yeah. So we're going to try to cram as many as I can, but we'll see how we go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Speed run. We'll speed run all the bars. That'll be fun. We will be so drunk by the end of that. If
there
we
you
go. Pub crawl, woo-hoo.
All over the west. Oh my gosh.
Oh, so I have two things that have me in stitches this week, Nicole.
You go. You get it.
Okay. So the first one, we had a true crime happen here at the farm.
Oh no.
Yeah, a true crime. It happened on Monday.
Okay.
So on Monday...
Was it dark and stormy day?
It was a dark and stormy day. No, it was a normal Monday.
Okay.
The kids were out playing. We were doing stuff here and doing chores around the farm. And I was getting ready for a voice lesson because I was teaching on Monday. My voice lesson happened to show up about 20 minutes early. So, that's really early for a half-hour lesson.
Yeah.
But, it was fine.
Just a prep.
I didn't have anybody ahead of him, and I was okay. That was fine.
Okay.
So I let him come in, but I think that's what threw us off the rhythm. And that might be the window when this crime occurred.
No.
So I totally feel like it's my fault.
No.
I blame myself for this. But anyway, so he comes in, we do the lesson, he leaves. And then I was like, okay, kids, it's time to go out and do chicken chores, which means that at 5 o'clock is usually when we put the chickens to bed. But because my lesson was early, we put them to bed later.
Uh-oh.
Because I was off my game.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Messed everything up.
So the kids went out to go put the chickens to bed. And then my youngest comes running back to the house, screaming her head off.
No.
But she goes, Mom, there's a hawk in with the babies.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It got in?
It got in.
How, though? Isn't it all fenced in and everything?
It is all fenced in, but there was a small crack. We had some wood that I think maybe the wind or something kind of blew it down.
Uh-oh.
And so it found this crack to get in. And we plugged that hole up.
Good.
So hopefully the hawk doesn't get back in. But
smart.
Yeah, it
Birds.
found a way in, and it got one of the babies.
Was it eating it there?
Well, the crime was already committed, so we had like a bunch of feathers, and I don't want to get graphic.
That's all
but,
good. It's all good. I get it. I can see it.
There was a corpse.
Yeah.
And my youngest found it, and she was a wreck.
My poor
She
girl. Was the hawk still in there when you guys
The
came
hawk
in?
was still in there.
How did you get it out?
So we have these snake sticks.
Ooh.
And we had one in there with the chickens so that we could
in case that happens.
Yeah. So we could, we were using it to kind of shoo them back into, if they go underneath their coop, we kind of sweep underneath the coop to try to shoo them inside the coop at night. And so I grabbed the hawk stick.
It was the hawk stick at that time.
A hawk stick. I grabbed the snake stick and I started banging it to scare the hawk. I broke the stick.
And
so
it's like angry,
a metal
Mama.
stick.
Oh my gosh.
I was protecting because there were still 2 babies that hadn't been wrangled into the coop. And the hawk was trying to get to where the babies were, and they were kind of pinned in this corner. And so I was banging the stick to get the hawk to get out. And the other kids chased the hawk out of the coop.
Wow.
So we got him out of the coop, We were able to rescue the other babies.
Good.
We lost one.
Well,
We
1
named
out
her
of 10.
Popcorn. So
Oh.
R.I.P. Popcorn.
They're just so delicious.
I know. Popcorn chicken.
Ayo.
So R.I.P.
sorry,
Popcorn.
though.
And so we have 9 babies instead of 10 now.
Well,
Thanks to Mr. Hawk. But farm life,
farm life.
that it's going to happen.
I thought it was going to be a fox or a wolf or, like
It's a hawk.
Yeah, that's crazy how it got in.
Because they're still like small enough that a hawk would attack them. The hawk won't attack the mature ones. I've actually seen a hawk hang out with the bigger girls.
Wow.
And that freaked me out. But they were just like
chilling.
Yeah, they were like, whatever.
Like, what's up?
Yeah, it was weird.
How's the farm?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to go eat one of your babies now.
I know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So that was really sad.
That
was our
sad.
true crime.
Oh.
And I was supposed to make chicken for dinner that night. And I was like, yeah, that's not going to happen.
Oh, rough.
And so I looked at my youngest. I was like, what can I get you for dinner? And she's like, can we have pizza?
I knew it. I was going to say pizza.
Pizza,
That's
yeah.
the
So we
go-to.
ran out and got pizza.
That's good.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
it's okay.
Oh, poor Popcorn.
It's part of farm life. R.I.P. Popcorn. We love you.
Popcorn was sacrificed so that maybe the hawk, now your pen's going to be like super secure, right?
Oh yeah.
See?
We're going to even work on it some more this weekend when we have more time.
Good.
To really make sure everything is
Like
shored in.
proof.
Yeah.
Foolproof.
Yeah, because
Okay.
we're like, that hawk will come back.
Yeah,
so
now
I
it
keep
knows.
I keep a close eye on the babies.
Oh, poor babies.
I know.
But that's okay. Hey, 1 out of 10.
1 out of 10.
We're
still
okay.
doing 90%.
It could have been worse.
We're doing good.
Yeah, it could have been worse.
I know. And we didn't lose the hawk to user error. We lost. You lose the hawk, lose the baby chicken to user error.
Right,
we lost it to nature.
Yeah.
Which-
he had to eat.
Yeah,
right?
it kind of made us feel a little better, I guess. I don't know.
Well, hawks
But-
are good in general.
Yeah.
They're really
I
cool.
was like, just get the squirrels next time, Hawk.
Yeah,
We
you have so
plenty of
many.
those.
They're so
many
sneaky
squirrels.
squirrels.
So many squirrels. So that was the first thing that has me in stitches.
Uh-huh.
Now, the other thing that has me in stitches this week, yesterday was crazy windy here.
Oh, no.
And I'm an air sign, right? I'm a
Right.
Libra. We've talked about this, how I'm an air sign.
Uh-huh.
Anytime it gets really windy, I lose my brain. It
Oh,
just like
no.
stops functioning and my
Oh.
whole day just goes all kinds of wonky crazy.
Just
So
a
I'm
big
just going to give you
whirlstorm
It
in here.
is.
Okay.
It is. So I'm going to give you some highlights of what I did yesterday.
Okay.
So I was running late to get the kids to school
Mm-hmm.
and I almost went in my pajamas
Oh.
to take the kids to school and I was like, "Oh, nope,
Hey,
can't do this."
PJs are okay, though.
Well, they were having PJ day, so I was like,
Oh,
"Oh,
then you
I'll
just
wear my
matched the
PJs,
theme,
right?"
yeah.
But I ran back in, changed,
Oh,
and 'cause,
okay.
like I didn't have a bra on. I'm like,
Oh.
that's indecent.
Yeah,
I
I
should
can't-
probably put a bra on when I take my kids to school.
I don't, hey, no judging, and it's awesome to not have to wear your bra all the time. But yeah, I couldn't do it in public. It doesn't feel good.
Right? It just feels,
Yeah,
we
not
should-
comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a mom. I should,
Yeah.
So anyway, so I ran back in, got dressed, and took the kids to school. And I always park on one of the neighborhood streets and then walk them onto their campus.
Okay.
So I parked and walked them on the campus. And when I get back to the car, I'm looking for my keys to unlock the door.
Mm-hmm.
And then I look inside the car. My keys are in the car in the cup holder and all the doors are locked. I'm like, how am I going to get my keys?
Wait, how did you lock your car with your
You
keys?
just push the button and it locked.
Oh, see, my car won't let it.
Yeah. Well, I was able to get in anyway because I just had to put my hand in the
good.
door and it unlocked.
Okay, good.
But I was panicking. I was like, how am I going to get my keys? And then I went to get my phone and I'd left my phone at home charging.
Of course.
So I couldn't call. And I was like, how am I going to get in? And then I got in and it was fine. And I
Okay.
came home and I was like, don't be an idiot. And then I got out of the car. I went to go check on the chickens, and based
Make
on
sure they're
Monday's
okay.
tragedy.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so I went to check on the chickens, and they were all fine. And then I come inside and I start doing work in the house, and I'm like, "Where's my purse?" I'm like, I left it in the car, and it was in the car for like hours
Oh, no.
with my water. I'm like, why am I leaving everything everywhere?
My brain's
So
scattered.
My brain was scattered. So I go back out, get my purse, and I'm like trying to do things. My internet isn't working because the wind is blowing. And
No.
it's like 1 o'clock before I even realize what's going on.
Oh,
I'm like,
gosh.
I need to eat lunch. So I'm trying to eat lunch, and then I get a call from the school, and my daughter needed something. So I had to run up to school and give her
no.
something. And then I was going back to my car.
Mm-hmm.
And I had my keys this time. I'm like, I'm not going to leave my keys in the car, but my car wouldn't open when I got there. I'm like, what is going on? Why is my car not opening? And I'm trying everything. I'm pushing the buttons and it's not unlocking. I'm trying all of the door handles to unlock it. It's not unlocking. And I pushed the button to open the trunk and the hatch. I have a Jeep. So, you know, I was like, I can at least crawl in over the seats and get to the front. And the hatch isn't opening. I'm like, what is going on? Why is my car not working? And then I look at the car.
It's not
my car.
I knew it.
I look like 3 cars over and there's my Jeep with the hatch open and all the doors unlocked. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
I knew it.
So I go to my car, you know, come back home and just finished. Like I had about an hour before I had to go back to get the kids and it was just a mess of a day. The whole rest of the day was like that. I kept bonking my head on things. I cut my finger when I was doing yard work. I was
having one of
harvesting some pomegranates and I cut my finger.
Ouch.
And it's just like I got a splinter in the same finger. And it was just one of those days where everything was just going haywire and I couldn't get anything together or get anything focused. Every time it gets windy, this happens.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I always just think when you have one of those days, it'll reverse at some point, right? Like you're going to have a good day.
Yeah.
It'll all get better. Things will be like so smooth and so cool.
Right.
Because you had one of those days.
Yes, I think so. I was definitely more on it today.
Good.
And I was on it on Tuesday. Just yesterday. I don't know.
That's so weird.
Yeah. Or I was on it. I don't know. I was on it. Yeah. You know.
I get it. I get it. Hey, we all have those days though.
Yep. Just a windy day just whips me up in a frenzy and I can't focus. It's crazy.
I wonder if that's because we're both air signs. So I wonder if like for like fire signs, like if it's like so sunny outside, it like throws people off or if it makes it better.
Maybe.
Or
I
like
don't
water
know.
day or water signs, if it's like really rainy, like I wonder.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I don't know. That's interesting.
Elements.
But yeah, definitely I was feeling my element yesterday.
Interesting. Well,
yes. What has you
gonna
in
get
stitches?
better though.
Yes.
Stitches for me, really, it's nothing. It's just that the fact that I'm excited for our patron. We set up our patron account now so that
yes, we did.
Everybody should come and support us because, again, we just do this by ourselves.
Yes.
We even set it up. You can just donate $1 a month and you'll still get something from us, which is pretty cool.
We will be incredibly appreciative of you guys.
Yeah, we would love it. So that's all I'm excited about. Check out. And I always tell students this when I work, and there's a hint, I work at a college, but I always tell students, Google this because it always pops up, or do a web search, but Podbean Ominous Stitch, and you'll see it. Our patron.
Our patron, Ominous Stitch Podbean.
Yeah, and you'll find it. So come support us. We
come
would
be
love
patrons.
It.
We'll give you shout outs.
Be our community.
Yes, we love that.
Yeah. So that's it.
Yay!
Yeah. But I'm excited for your new crochet. What are we doing?
Should we get stitching?
Yes.
Let's get stitching. Okay, Stitchers, are we ready for our stitch for this week?
I'm so ready.
Okay, so I first learned this stitch on Daisy Farm Crafts.
Ooh, cute name.
Isn't that cute?
Daisy
Farm Crafts on YouTube. You can find their channel on YouTube.
Awesome.
And they make the cutest crochet things.
Aww.
I just love it. And, I have a farm, so I'm all like, ooh, the farm thing.
Hey.
So when I first started learning crochet, that was one of the websites that I used to go to all the time to learn different techniques.
Okay.
So this is their Gingham Plaid Blanket on Daisy Farm Crafts.
Is it weird? I thought of Gingham.
Gangnam style.
Gangnam style. Okay. Gingham. Sorry. Gingham.
Right. Gingham. Yeah.
But it's pretty. Yes.
It's very pretty. And I thought that this was a great hack how to make a plaid blanket.
Okay.
So basically you pick 3 colors.
Okay.
2 colors are similar. One's a darker shade and one's a lighter shade. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to go with like a cream or a white for the opposite color.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Of course.
So basically you're making a bunch of different squares and you're carrying yarn through so that you don't have to keep cutting yarn and you aren't sewing in a bunch of ends, which I love. Yes. You don't have to sew ends in.
Yep.
Very easy. So you're just carrying yarn over, and it's a stitch that we've already learned.
What is it?
It's the seed stitch.
Yay! That's a good
Yay.
one.
They call it a griddle stitch. So it's also known as griddle stitch.
I did not know
yeah,
that.
Yeah, that's what they call it, griddle stitch.
Okay.
And so just to refresh everyone's memory, a seed stitch / griddle stitch, and I know it has other names too.
Oh, okay.
Is a single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, double crochet. You're alternating between the two.
Always.
And you want to do an even number so that when you go back on the other side, you're always putting a single crochet on top of a double and a double on top of a single.
So it's always alternating. Yeah.
Always alternating.
Got it.
Yes. And so the way that this blanket works is you start off with the darker shade and the lighter shade together.
Okay.
And you're
like
going to
the dark and the white contrast, or just
no. So what I'm using a charcoal gray, a heather gray.
Got it.
And a cream color.
Got it.
Okay. So we're going with that kind of dark gray plaid kind of a blanket, right? So, and we'll link, there's a YouTube video. So we'll link the YouTube video that they do for Daisy Farm Crafts.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We can do that.
So you guys can see how they do it.
Okay.
Basically, you start off, you make a chain of 10 plus 1. So you're working in multiples of 10 plus 1.
Okay.
And you want to do an odd number of 10 so that you start and finish with the same dark color. It just makes it even.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Does that make sense?
So instead of like 40, you want like 50.
You would want to do 50.
Got it.
Yeah. So I chained for my blanket because I just made it as wide as my reach here. I did 170.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's
a lot.
That's how long my arms are when I'm spread. That's my wingspan.
Okay.
So 170 plus 1.
Plus 1.
Because that's your turning chain.
Got it. I was going to ask about it. Okay.
Turning chain.
Got it.
And you start with a single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, and you do 10 of those in the dark color.
Okay.
And then you're going to pick up the lighter shade of gray. So I started with the charcoal and then I picked up my heather gray and then I carried the charcoal along because you're going to alternate between the charcoal and the heather every 10 stitches.
So you want it to keep going with it.
Yeah. So you want to keep going.
Okay.
So, and the way that it works best to kind of hide the stitch is that when you're picking up the new yarn or you're carrying through the yarn, you're only going to go through, you're going to decide which side is the wrong side and which side is the right side of your blanket.
You have a wrong side.
A wrong side. So you're starting with the wrong side. And so you're going to go through the front loops only.
Okay.
Because that will keep
that side
color.
Okay.
That will keep that color to the back because
Yeah.
that's the wrong side. And then when you're working the right side, you will put it in the back loop.
So you're always alternating front loop for the wrong side, back loop for the wrong side.
Yes.
Okay.
Back loop for the
Very
right
cool.
side so that it keeps that
So
carry through color to the back.
Keep track of what side you're on.
Keep track of what side you're on. Keep track of whether you're doing a double or a single and you're doing it in tens.
Got it.
So it'll be charcoal for 10, light gray for 10, charcoal for 10, light
That's
gray
cool.
for 10, all the way down.
Wow.
And then you do 10 rows of that so that you have a square.
Yes.
Then you're going to switch to the light, the lighter tone. So that will be my heather gray.
Right.
And then I'll alternate between the heather gray. That block will sit on top of the charcoal. And then I will introduce my cream color, which will sit on top of the heather gray. Does that make sense?
Makes total
So
sense.
that's how we're making that grid.
That sounds
and you'll do that for 10.
easy.
It's easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you got to keep track.
You got to keep track. You do have to count your rows.
Yeah.
And you do. But like once you get going and you know, it's pretty obvious when the color changes happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you're always carrying the yarn through. So it's easy to just go back and pick it up and keep going like that.
So it's kind of integrating the other color yarns. So you're always going to be carrying one of the color yarns, right?
Yeah. You always have 2 color yarns working in a row.
Okay.
Yeah. So either one color is...
So at least you're going to, like after the 10, you're going to have to cut one of them, right? Though, or no?
No, you don't cut it. You always carry it through.
So because you have 3 colors though.
No, you're only working 2 colors at a time.
in a row. But then when you switch,
Oh, when you switch, yes, I will have to cut the darker color.
That's what I'm
so
saying.
you will have ends that you're sewing in, yes.
but not very many.
Not very many.
That's nice.
It's not like every 10 squares you have to change the color.
And, that would be hard
to sew that in.
Yeah.
That reminds me of my cat blanket, the graphigan that I did.
I bet you had so many ends.
So many ends to sew in.
I couldn't even see them.
Such a nightmare.
You did great.
Thank you.
Yeah, but that's cool. Okay, so that would be fun. So always 3 colors, but you're always working 2.
Yes.
And then when I'm trying to remind myself how to do all this.
Yeah.
And then at the end of every row, you have to chain 1 though, right?
Yes, you chain 1 because that's your turning chain. So you always chain 1.
Always turning 1 at the end of every row. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's easy.
Yeah. So that's it. So
and
that's
you're going to make this, right?
I'm making it right now. It might be a blanket. It might be a runner that's going to go in front of my porch. So
pretty.
Yeah. So we'll see.
I'm like thinking of all the possibilities because you could probably do like a dark purple and a lavender and a cream.
Yes.
Right? Or
yes.
dark green, light green, cream.
Yes. You just need 2 similar shades, one darker, one lighter, and then a cream. Or I even did it with like, I had like a dark pink, a lighter pink, and then I did like a buttery yellow.
Ooh, that would be nice.
Yeah,
too.
and that worked too. That was very pretty.
I love it.
So play around with the colors.
Yes,
and we want to see your gingham plaids.
Yeah.
So
send them in.
Send them in at theominousstitch@gmail.com.
Hey.
Or send us pictures on any of our socials. We want to see what you guys are making.
Yeah, we would love to share it too. So, please
send it to us. All right. So that's all I've got for stitch time.
Yay.
So are we ready for story time?
Oh, it's story time.
Let's go on a pub crawl. Woo.
You ready, Angela?
I am so ready.
So again, we are doing haunted bars, saloons / restaurants west of the Mississippi.
Yeah.
And we're going to start in Good Springs, Nevada at the Pioneer Saloon.
Nice. Pioneer Saloon.
Pioneer. So this will be a short one, but it's in Good Springs, Nevada. Okay, let's talk about the history. It was established as a mining town in the late 1800s, named after Joseph Good. The Pioneer Saloon was not open until 1913. That's still a long time ago.
Right.
By George Vail. It is supposedly the oldest bar in all of the southern Nevada region.
Nice.
Yeah. Good Springs Pioneer Saloon, is roughly salon. My hair.
Let's go get our hair did.
Yeah, let's do it. And you get a drink at the same time. No.
Nice.
That's we got to invent that. Let's do it. No, because our hair.
Have a cocktail and get your hair done.
Get your hair done.
Yep. As long as your hairdresser isn't having a cocktail with you.
Exactly. I was going to say, no, they can't have the drinks, unfortunately. Yeah. Okay. So Good Springs Pioneer Saloon is roughly 40 miles southwest of Vegas. So if you're going out there, you might want to take a little venture.
Yeah.
It'll be fun, right? The bar itself inside is original. It's made of mahogany. It's built in Brunswick, Maine, and it was shipped over at that time. So,
whoa.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
All the way around. Yep. Now, the first well-known story about this bar, the paranormal story, is that an out-of-work miner named Paul Koski visited the Pioneer Saloon one night in hopes to make a buck or two playing cards.
Oh.
Yeah. However, Paul didn't rely on luck. He decided to cheat.
Paul,
yep.
Cheaters never win.
Yep, and he was caught. Yep. Joe Armstrong was playing as well, and he shot him dead in the saloon.
Oh, dude.
That's what happens to cheaters back then.
Oh, but like was 1914?
I don't know the exact year, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah, because that wouldn't fly nowadays.
No, of course not. Yeah, it's probably closer to when the bar opened.
Yeah. Dude, shot dead.
Shot dead.
Thems are high stakes.
Right?
That is high stakes poker.
Don't cheat.
Don't cheat.
Now, there are still visual bullet holes in the wall at the saloon.
Whoa.
Yeah. Paul Koski's coroner's report hangs next to them. Oh, it is a long time ago. See, I didn't remember. A newspaper article page as well that states man killed at Good Springs, and the article dates back to 1915.
Oh.
So yeah, it's 2 years after.
2 years
the bar.
after they opened.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's crazy how they celebrate it, but it's kind of like,
really,
to me, it reminds me of when we were talking about York and how York used that I will not leave my brain
I know, right?
with the heads on the spikes everywhere.
I'm
like, this is like, hey, this is the price you pay if you cheat in our bar. Don't do it.
That's your warning.
Yeah.
You'll die.
That's a much better way of warning than like hanging his dead body on the wall.
That was the heads on the spikes. Yeah, that's pretty creepy.
Yeah.
And so they have everything original from there in the bar right now.
That's awesome. Southwest of Vegas.
40 miles. Mm-hmm.
We are southwest of Vegas. So if we ever went to Vegas, we could go there.
Yeah, that's not too far for us.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, let's go.
I want to go. Let's do it.
Okay.
Paul Koski's spirit still resides at the Pioneer Saloon, though. His presence can be seen time to time in the dark corners of the saloon in his Wild West outfit and bleeding from the side where he was shot.
Oh.
But when patrons catch a glimpse of him, he quickly vanishes.
Oh, of course he does. Yeah.
The other well-known tale at the Pioneer Saloon, not too far from there, Carol Lombard, who was the wife of Clark Gable.
Yes, Carol, famous actress.
Yes.
Carol Lombard. Yeah.
She was selling war bonds during World War II. And on January 16th, 1942, she was flying with her mother and several military personnel. Unfortunately, her plane crashed at Mount Potosi, which is an hour north of the Pioneer Saloon.
Oh.
Yeah, Clark Gable was so distraught, he stayed at the Pioneer Saloon for a few days, and because that's where the search party had started.
Wow.
Yeah, so he was waiting for the news. Gable would sit and drink at the corner of the bar, anxiously awaiting. Apparently, the search crew wasn't able to reach Lombard's wreckage body right away. So Gable sat there, like I said, for at least a few days.
Wow.
Yeah, he was sad. There is now in the back room of the saloon a newspaper clippings and photos as a tribute to both of them. The rumor is that Lombard's ghost haunts the saloon as she was there to ease Gable's terrible grief.
Oh, my heart.
Yep.
Oh, how beautiful and tragic. And,
right.
Oh,
Devastating.
man. I just want to go give their little ghosties a hug.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they're happy now together, but
yeah,
she'd haunt the bar because he's just, that energy, that sad, depressing energy is just lingers there, right?
We got a residual.
Yep. According to a regular bartender, the full body apparition of an aged prospector appears at the end of the bar late at night as well.
Ooh, that's cool.
And lastly, it is said that a woman with a photo hanging on the wall likes to haunt the ladies' room. So it's really hard to see, but that's her. Apparently.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
We'll go hang out in the ladies' room.
That could be.
That was so creepy the way I just said that.
That made me laugh. Okay. I told you that was short and sweet. So
that was, yeah.
Pioneer Saloon in Vegas, or close to Vegas.
Close to Vegas.
Yeah, Good Springs. Next, we're going to travel to Portland, Oregon.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, my sister lives there. Oh, sister-in-law, but I call her my sister.
Yeah.
Old Town Pizza and Brewing. Have you heard of this?
No,
okay.
But like I like the pizza part.
Right?
Yeah.
Pizza
and beer. Let's go.
Totally going there.
Okay.
Visit. Okay. Old Town Pizza and Brewing has one specific resident haunting. I'm going to go into the vivid and sad history.
Oh, okay.
Old Town Pizza is in the location that the Merchant Hotel used to sit, which was known for prostitution.
Oh, good.
Woefully, a lot of these old restaurants, pubs were known for that industry. As we touched up on the East Coast, remember? It was like at least
everyone had a brothel.
And then there's some hauntings.
That's a way to make money back then.
Yep. It was built in 1880 and fact, the window where you placed your pizza order now at the Old Town Pizza is the original hotel's reception desk.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's sitting there. It's still there. And underneath the hotel floorboards sits the infamous Shanghai tunnels. Have you heard of those?
No, but that sounds very cool.
It's like the underground tunnels in Seattle. So these were used to easily transport goods around in Portland. But alas, it's also used to nab sailors and move them to the boats docked at the river. So they would steal sailors.
Steal like people to just go be a sailor on a boat?
Yeah. Like sailors would come in and then they'd steal them and put them on different boats.
That's
Also,
crazy.
right? And also
That's crazy.
women were held in cages for long periods of time in the tunnels so that they could be sold outside of Portland. So it was just a people mover.
Oh my, like my jaw was literally dropped. And Nicole was still talking, so I didn't want to. That's insane.
Creepy, right?
Don't put women in cages.
Women in cages.
Oh.
Yeah, very sad. Now the legend of Nina. Okay, she was one of the working women at the hotel, the Merchant Hotel, but not by choice. Okay?
Oh, Nina.
But traveling missionaries were trying to clean up that neighborhood and happened to come across Nina. They convinced her to share information in exchange for a chance of freedom.
Okay.
Nina cooperated, but unfortunately, she was soon found dead at the bottom of the elevator shaft in the Merchant Hotel.
No.
They think she was murdered.
Well, yeah.
Because
she was
leaking
giving information.
Yep.
Oh, no.
Yeah. There also, this is crazy, they found a brick with her name carved into the old elevator shaft.
What?
Yeah. I don't know if that was her or someone tributing it to her.
Oh.
Right.
What if she like was pushed down the elevator shaft and didn't die right away and then just like carved her name so nobody would, so they would know that was her?
Exactly. I don't know. Isn't that creepy?
Nina.
Yeah. I'm going to go into that again a little bit here.
Okay.
But the Merchant Hotel was sold to the Skidmore Development Company in the mid-1960s and became office space and stores. In 1974, I don't know how to say this, I'm so sorry, the Accuardi, I'm going to say that, Accuardi, it's Accuardi.
Okay.
The Accuardi family founded Old Town Pizza and Brewing and became one of the hippest pizza joints in town.
Hey-yo.
As I mentioned, Nina is the one and only known spirit that still lingers in this pizza joint. Patrons will smell her perfume wafting out of nowhere or feel a presence behind them when no living soul is behind them.
Ooh, Nina.
Diners will often see Nina wearing a black dress and just watching them, but most of the time she is wandering around the basement below.
Oh, Nina.
Yeah, the brick with her name, right, is now located in a booth in the back of the restaurant.
We need to go find her brick.
Yeah, we're going to go sit there and eat.
You're like, Nina,
where are you?
come see us.
There is a story that a delivery driver asked to be taken off the brewery's route after seeing her in the basement.
Whoa.
Yeah. Portland, and we're coming for you.
Yeah,
it's
we are.
Old Town Pizza and Brewing. Moving on. See, I tried to cram as many as I could.
Moving right along. We're merely birds of a feather. We're in this
Muppets?
together. Yes.
Yes! I knew it.
The Muppet movie.
Muppet movie. Next, we're going to go to California.
Yay. We live there.
You live there, but not in this area. I could have probably done a whole Los Angeles thing.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure we will at some point.
Yes, we will. But this one, we're going to Marysville, California.
Marysville, California.
And we're going to go to the Silver Dollar Saloon.
Ooh.
Now, this is a fun one just because there's not a lot of haunts, but the background to this place is pretty bonkers.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Got my pants on.
Get
I'm
your
ready.
pants on.
I don't know what kind of pants they are, but excitement pants. What would that entail? Excitement
Do you
pants.
need an adult diaper pants?
That's what I was thinking.
I love it. Okay.
Oh,
you might
man.
want it. I don't know. All right. Well, this next restaurant bar didn't have, like I said, many tales of ghost sightings or frights, but something that took place in the saloon, and who knows, possibly more grisly events, is enough to mosey over and grab a drink or food. I have to do a little background dive, so stay with me here.
Okay, I'm ready.
Just like our previous visit to Old Town Pizza in Portland, the Silver Dollar Saloon in Marysville, California was once the Grand Hotel. Built in 1851, it's one of the oldest original buildings in Marysville. The Grand Hotel, just like the Merchant Hotel, was known to be an illegal brothel.
Oh, no, of
There's
course.
always there's a
Always a
connection to all
brothel.
these, right? Due to the gold rush era, the Grand Hotel brought in many gold miners, and since the location at the time was at the last stop for steamboats on the Feather River, it was a very popular stop. Women would stand in the windows to entice the men.
Uh-oh.
At some point in the late 1960s, early 1970s, Natividad Corona purchased the building and turned it into the Guadalajara Cafe.
Ooh, Guadalajara.
Yeah, Natividad had a brother, Juan Corona. might not sound familiar. Some of you, it might. And that's why I'm going to go into this.
Corona. I'm just thinking beer.
That's a good assumption there too. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, Juan, he had illegally come to California to work in the farms, but then a flood in the Yuba and Feather Rivers broke a levee and flooded most of the Sacramento Valley, which triggered a mental breakdown in Juan, who was deathly afraid of water.
Oh, no.
He believed that everyone around him had died and he was seeing ghosts.
Oh, no.
It's like that mental break.
Juan.
Natividad committed Juan to a mental hospital in Auburn, California, and was diagnosed as a paranoid schizophrenic. Mm-hmm. He received 23 shock treatments in a period of 3 months.
Holy cow.
Right?
That's enough to make somebody go bonkers. I mean, if he's already thinking, oh, okay, I'm looking at your face right now. You're like,
yeah, something's not good here.
Yeah.
But they declared him recovered after all this, and then he was deported back to Mexico. Later that year, he returned legally to the United States, back to Marysville, Yuba City. In 1962, he was a licensed labor contractor who would hire workers to staff local fruit ranches. And he was married with 4 daughters. Life seemed pretty stable for Juan Corona until March of 1970, when Corona had a new schizophrenic episode and was committed again, but very briefly.
Oh, no.
On May 25th, 1970, Jose Romero Rea was brutally beat up in the restroom of Natividad's Guadalajara Cafe. It was so gruesome. He was attacked in the face and the head with a machete and nearly scalped.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh.
He survived.
What?
Yeah, he survived.
What?
And Natividad had called the police for help. Romero didn't see his attacker, so he blamed Natividad and sued him and won $250,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Natividad didn't pay, but he sold all of his properties in California and moved back to Mexico. We're going to put a little bookmark on that one because we'll come right back.
Okay.
Now, and that was at the Guadalajara Cafe.
Right.
Which is now the Silver Dollar
The
Saloon.
Silver
right?
Dollar
Okay,
Saloon,
so
yes.
keep that in mind. The following year, this is where it gets bonkers.
Okay.
Japanese American
wasn't bonkers.
No, not enough. No,
Oh,
this is
no.
going to get more bonkers.
Okay.
Japanese American farmer Goro Kagahiro, found a large, freshly dug hole in the Sutter County peach orchard that he owned. After questioning his employees, which were all hired through Juan Corona's connections, no one knew about the hole. Well, that night, Kagahiro came back to the orchard and found the hole filled. He immediately called the sheriff, and after digging it up, they found a body of a drifter, Kenneth Whitaker.
Oh, no.
They classified it as a sex crime due to the gay literature they found in his pockets, although he was fully dressed.
Oh.
The coroner, unfortunately, did not look for signs of sexual assault. A few days later, on May 24th, 1971, workers driving a tractor at a ranch across the way found another filled hole.
Oh, my gosh.
The sheriff was alerted again, and after digging that hole, another male body was found. Then they found another hole with another male body.
Oh, my gosh.
Just holes and holes. All 3 bodies were drifters and farm workers who all had been stabbed and hacked the same way.
Oh, wow.
There were receipts in one of the grave for Juan Corona, and his pickup truck had been spotted in the same area at the time of the murders.
Oh, no.
They continued to search for more graves and found 6 more corpses in the same orchard.
Oh, my gosh.
Most of them were buried with their pants down or no pants at all hacked and stabbed or shot. All were drifters or farm workers. So May 26th, deputies arrested Juan Corona and searched his property and car. They found an 18-inch machete, blood-stained club, knives, pistol, and ammunition, digging material, and a blue ledger with 34 male names and dates. They believe this ledger was the list of the men he had killed.
Oh no.
I do this just to get Angel's reactions. You hear that? Because of this, though.
That's horrifying.
Right?
Yes.
Now, because of this, the sheriff ordered an aircraft to take infrared photographs of the orchard area where they found the other bodies. Lo and behold, the known count of victims was 25.
Wow.
So they found
25 out of the 30.
Out of 34.
Oh, where are the other 9 people?
No, I know.
Oh, no.
Now, because of this, they believe Juan Corona was the one who nearly killed Jose Romero Rea in the Guadalajara cafe.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
Corona is infamous as the worst known serial killer in U.S. history until 1973. Up to that point, Dean Corll's crimes were discovered at this point with a total body count of 28, which we should probably cover sometime.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. And this is why we are unsure if Juan Corona conducted any of his killings in the cafe as well. In 1978,
I got chills, man.
the building was purchased by the Nicoletti family and then later purchased by the Cummings family, then passed down to the Ferries, and the Silver Dollar Saloon was erected. Joe Ferry spruced up the second floor into the Brothel Museum.
Oh, nice.
To honor all the working girls and the madams.
Sure. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. It is only open to request, and the conference room can be rented out for special events or ghost hunts.
Oh.
Yeah. Ferry says that there is a woman in a white ball gown that scares his children.
Oh.
This is the only ghostly encounter I could find online. But who knows what the air is like surrounding those deaths by Juan Corona.
Right?
I would go there just to do kind of that.
Do a seance for Juan Corona.
Mm-hmm.
And see what
See what other victims. Yeah. So isn't that crazy? So like I said, not much paranormal activity.
I love how you snuck a true crime in here. Yes, you totally did.
Isn't that cool?
Oh, wow. she was like literally doing what is
Jazz
it?
hands.
Jazz hands. She's like,
yeah, true crime. Woo. That's how morbid we are. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Okay. We're going to move on.
Okay.
Casey Moore's Oyster House in Tempe, Arizona.
Hey, an oyster house in Tempe, Arizona.
Isn't that fascinating? Isn't that fascinating? And apparently it's
because there's so much oceanfront property in Arizona. I got some oceanfront property in Arizona.
But you know what's amazing is that the reviews are really good for the
Really?
seafood. Which I'm like, where are they getting it so fresh?
Where are they getting it?
No idea.
I mean, there's even a country song about how
There's nothing there.
yeah, there's no ocean in Arizona. It is completely landlocked and desert.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but apparently it's good.
Oh, we have to go. I don't
know if I'm gonna have seafood.
I don't want
in
to eat
Arizona.
anything there because I definitely had seafood in San Diego and that made me sick.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And that's right next to the ocean. So
Right.
hey, what
We were literally looking at the ocean while we were eating food there.
and we were
so
like,
it's
this is not good.
right.
Fish tacos and shrimp. Yeah, that was crazy.
So if Arizona has better seafood than San Diego,
right?
I might have to eat my foot. I don't know. That's crazy. Okay, how is this place haunted? Is it haunted by a famous sea captain? I need to know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to go on because of you. Oh my. Okay. Whew, pull it together. And there's a fly on my computer. This is great. What's that fly?
How ominous.
How ominous. Oh, he's creepy.
He's moving.
It's like The Ring. Okay.
Oh no.
Okay. Little is known about William and Mary Moore. We know their home in Tempe, Arizona was constructed in 1910 and that William helped with the Tempe school system and was the first head of the Maricopa County School Board. He was also the county's first land commissioner in 1921. Family member Benjamin Moore, or B.B. Moore, moved in with William and Mary and began his own medical practice. He got involved with the education system there as well, moved on to politics, and was the 4th governor of Arizona in 1932.
Heyo.
William Moore died of a brain hemorrhage in 1929 while sitting in front of his fireplace, and Mary died of natural causes in 1940 in the upstairs bedroom. Unfortunately, after their deaths, their home became a boarding house and bordello.
Oh, of course.
Theme.
We have a theme.
There's some kind of crazy energy with haunted restaurants and bordellos, right?
Yes.
Now, teenagers and young adults frequented the house and threw huge parties. And sadly, there are stories, which I couldn't find, that the bordello was full of suicides, rapes, drugs, and murders.
So
that's all
not
I
a
got.
good bordello.
Not a good bordello. In 1973, the house was purchased and refurbished into a restaurant called Ninth and Ash. It did okay, but was sold and became today's Casey Moore's Oyster House, an Irish-themed pub and seafood restaurant. Due to its location, it's super close to ASU.
Okay. All right.
It became a popular spot amongst students.
Yeah.
The restaurant allows dogs on the patio until 5 p.m. However, dogs have been known to bark at some of the ghosts that reside in the restaurant.
Oh, that's awesome.
So a lot of reports came in about seeing a woman dancing on the second floor late at night. It's always around 4 a.m. and sometimes they spot a man whom dances with her. Apparently, on at least 4 different occasions, neighbors have called the police, and when they arrive, the restaurant is empty and the alarm system had not gone off at all.
Interesting.
Most suspect it's the lingering spirits of William and Mary Moore.
Oh,
So they're
that's
still there.
sweet. I was thinking it was like, a lady dancing
Oh, yeah.
and it was a bordello.
Oh, no. They think it's the couple.
Oh,
Isn't
that's
that sweet?
sweet.
Yeah, see?
I like that.
Yeah. Also, the ghost of a young woman that was murdered during the bordello times
Ugh.
has been spotted in the restaurant. She has dark hair and light eyes and visits the restaurant during business hours.
Oh.
Yeah, patrons will see her through the corner of their eye, but when they turn to meet her gaze, she disappears. So there is a bordello ghost.
Okay.
Poltergeist events also happen at the restaurant.
Nice.
Yeah. The staff typically sets the tables, chairs, and silverware before closing, but then in the morning, they find everything rearranged.
Oh.
Both staff and customers have seen silverware launched from the tables.
Oh, that's not cool.
No, not at all.
Don't launch the silverware.
No, especially if it's like a
You
knife.
might
right?
put somebody's eye out.
Yeah, fork. Oh, gosh.
Oh, no.
Lamps start swinging violently on their own. And
Whoa.
one time, a photo frame was launched across the restaurant with the nail still in the wall as if someone lifted the picture and threw it.
Whoa.
Yeah, someone's not happy there.
That's crazy.
ParanormalLegacy.com has a few video investigations of the Casey Moore Oyster House, and some have some really cool EVPs.
Nice.
Yeah. I didn't put it.
it.
Yeah, I didn't put it in there, so because you got to go check it out.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm checking it out.
So that's the Casey Moore Oyster House.
Okay. I want to go there.
You gonna try some oysters?
No, well, I don't like oysters, so I
Oh,
wouldn't
okay.
try them anyway.
Okay,
but
good.
I will watch other people try oysters.
Maybe we can drive there and take our dogs and sit on the porch. Yeah.
That would be cool. Okay, I'm down for that. We'll do that.
Okay.
And then we can hit up on the way back. We can hit up the Pioneer.
Pioneer Saloon?
Yeah.
Perfect.
On the way there, whatever.
Or whatever.
Either way.
We'll make a
road trip.
chart.
Road trip.
Yeah, mom road trip. Okay, we go to my hometown, Seattle, Washington.
Yeah, Seattle.
This is a pretty cool story that I had no idea about, okay?
Have you ever been to this place?
No, I have not. I've walked by it many times.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I've gone to it's in the Pike Place area.
We
Yeah.
have to go.
Yeah, and I'm really sad that I didn't know about this, so I'm going next time.
Okay. Maybe we need to do a mom trip to Seattle because I have family there too.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
I love that. But I am going there like in December.
Okay.
So, but we'll go again.
Okay.
Okay. This is,
Do you like how we plan our trips?
we have so many trips planned. Kel's Irish Restaurant and Pub.
Nice.
Yeah. In the very early 1900s, E.R. Butterworth, which I love that
I
name.
love that name.
Right? E.R. Butterworth.
Did they make syrup?
No, far from it.
Okay.
Far from it.
Oh, okay.
Had an English architect design a building downtown. It was built on First Avenue where the street was very steep. What's interesting about it is that from one side, you'll see 3 stories and from another, you'll see 5 stories. Because it's that like
Because, yeah.
back steep.
Yeah.
Right? Once it was finished in 1903, Butterworth established one of the first permanent mortuaries in the United States.
Oh, yeah. That's not the same
It's not
as
syrup.
syrup.
No.
Yeah. No.
Not at all. It was the first location to offer services pertaining to death, such as coffin sales, embalming room, a chapel, etc. It also was the first building on the West Coast to feature an elevator which help transport dead bodies.
Ooh, haunted elevator.
So this is a very small picture I'm going to show her, but this is their like the original one of the rooms. Isn't that cool?
That's so cool.
Yeah, very, very cool.
I love it.
Practically every dead body in Seattle would come through the doors of Butterworth and Sons mortuary.
Oh, wow.
Some say the building has residual negative energy due to some questionable practices, such as possible coffins being buried empty because bodies were sold for profit. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Zach Baggins does a big thing about it, which I didn't like. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Zach Baggins people, if you like him. He did this whole like thing there. I was watching a video and he was very like, oh, this is such a negative place with negative energy because these miners were being, their corpses were being sold. Like he made it like, he twisted it.
I mean, that's his thing.
Yeah, right? And I don't like it.
No, I don't like it either.
It's so dramatic and flare. Like,
yeah, I don't like the way he taunts the dead.
Yes.
I don't like the way
that's what he was trying to do. And I didn't like that.
Yeah, no. I don't like it either.
Thank
I
you.
don't like the way
good.
he puts his people. He does it because he's a TV star and he's going for the drama but I find his practice is disrespectful.
I agree.
And
okay.
I don't like the way he keeps putting poor Aaron. That's one of his camera guys.
Okay.
I've only watched enough to know Aaron's name, but he always puts Aaron in the scariest places because Aaron gets scared so much.
That's mean.
Like don't be a bully,
don't
Zach.
Be a bully. Yeah. Okay. Well, good. I'm glad you agree on that because I did not like how he was doing it.
No, whenever I mention him, it's
okay.
Ironically,
Yay!
It's not because I think he's awesome.
Okay, good.
We're
on the same page.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it wasn't cool.
But Ryan and Shane, I love.
They were fun.
They did. This is totally off topic.
Okay.
And this is just me plugging them because I love them. But they recently did an episode of Ghost Files on the Watcher Network of the Whaley House.
Did
and
they
I just
really?
watched it.
Oh,
yeah, I
fun.
wanted to tell you, but I'm telling you on the podcast now. I wanted to text it to you. I watched it.
For all of you who don't know, we did the Whaley House like in episode 4 or 5.
I think it was episode 4 or 5, somewhere around there. We did a momcation.
Because we went there,
Yeah, and we went to San Diego.
Yeah. That's cool. We have to watch it. I have to watch it. Did you watch and you like it?
I watched it. Yeah.
Okay.
It was fun. I mean, they're being themselves.
Yes.
And Shane is often disrespectful because
that's how he does
that's
to
his
get
shtick.
the
But
the ghosts.
But Ryan is
he
terrified.
really believes it.
Yeah, he fully believes.
I love that.
So it was fun.
Okay, I have to watch that. So Zach Baggins was but there is a rumor that goes around that Dr. Linda Hazard would treat her patients to the point of starvation. She thought that was the way to do everything.
No.
And she'd only feed them thin broth and give them regular enemas. They would pass and their bodies were sent to the Butterworth and Sons mortuary. So that's actually like a big
she was just
rumor.
killing people and sending them business.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
that's not cool. Is this in the Victorian era too? So
1913, yeah.
Oh, 1913. So maybe they weren't doing the whole bell toll thing. Yeah. Where they would lay in wake and then see people.
Yeah. I remember that too.
So that's what I was wondering, if that was part of the story, if they were burying people alive.
No, they weren't. The rumors, they weren't even burying people at all.
They were just selling the corpses.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah. Okay. That is not good business practice. I mean, there are two things in life that we all know: death and taxes, right? Those are for certain.
Yeah.
So just wait. They will come to you.
They will die.
Yeah.
They just wanted more. Yeah. Sad.
Don't be greedy in death, people.
I'm unsure how long the mortuary was in business in Seattle, but I do know the building was purchased by the McAleese family. I'm going to say that. And the Kells Pub opened in 1983, but has seen a lot of paranormal activity.
I bet.
Yeah, being a mortuary. Right?
Yeah.
From the beginning of construction, the McAleeses, oh my God, I'm terrible at this. McAleese. Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're Irish. Yeah. It's fun. They're like the interviews.
They're very Irish.
Yeah.
So they have the whole Irish accent and everything. Oh,
the sisters, very Irish.
I love it.
McAleeses would feel cold spots and hear footsteps when no one else was in the pub. Heavy metal doors would swing open on their own accord.
Ooh.
One night, Patrick's mother was at the bar on one of the upper floors, and she fell down a flight of stairs, thankfully with no serious injuries. But she swore she was pushed down even though no one else was around.
Yeah, I believe that.
Right.
Poor mama. I'm glad she wasn't injured.
No. And she, after all that, she would put holy water behind like every door, like wall and everything.
Oh,
she
yeah.
started, like,
yeah.
Trying to
I'm sure.
bless the place.
They're good Irish Catholics.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, funny you say that. All of these spooky transgressions led the family to call a priest to bless the building.
Yeah. Good Irish Catholics.
Yeah. Patrick McAleese recalls decades ago when him and his dad were cleaning up after the bar and the restaurant had closed. They were on the restaurant side, which joins to the bar side by a short hallway. So
Okay.
two sides.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
Then they heard a loud crash with a lot of glass.
Ooh.
Yeah, they raced over to the bar side and found an old mirror on the ground. But on a shallow shelf, only 4 inches deep along the wall, a candle was lit. Not by them.
What?
Yeah. They were the only two in the bar. So this worried them. Yeah. So they got...
I'm shaking my hands. So if you hear my bracelets rattling, so I'm shaking my hands.
She's doing jazz hands now. So they got out their flashlights and they searched the entire building, but no one was there. And the door to the bar was bolted from the inside. They searched for 20 minutes and didn't find another living soul.
Dude.
Right?
Right. That's the candle being lit is what gets me.
Right?
That's crazy.
Like, because mirrors can fall off. I've had picture frames, things fall off all the time. But a candle being lit on
How
its
does a
own,
candle just light itself?
Yeah, with nobody around.
That's awesome.
Karen McAleese, sister of the bar's owner, claimed to have seen a spirit on All Saints Day in 2005. She said he was a tall man who looked like he was part black with a suit jacket on. He had very thin hands. He walked to the end of the bar and just kind of faded.
Ooh.
Yeah. One of the most seen spirits is referred to as Charlie. At the corner of the Kells bar hangs a mirror. Over time, the mirror has changed, probably the one that fell.
Yeah.
But patrons will look into it and see a reflection of a happy-looking middle-aged man.
Oh.
Yeah. He's seen wearing a derby hat and is usually in the top right corner of the mirror smiling. When they turn around to see him, nobody's there. And apparently, at least dozens of people have seen Charlie over the years.
I love it, Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie's happy. Phoenix Smith, a guide for nightly spirits ghost tours, mentioned that a gentleman was taking pictures of his wife in the mirror straight on with her facing the camera. And when they reviewed the first photo, there was a profile, a face right behind her head. Yeah.
Was it Charlie?
We think so. Yeah.
I love it.
Right?
I love it.
And probably the spirit that is more seen than Charlie.
Oh.
And Charlie's seen a lot, right?
Yeah.
Is a little girl in the red dress.
Oh, a little girl.
A little girl's there. When Como News reporter Eric Johnson asked Patrick McAleese how many reported sightings there had been of her, his response, the little girl in the red dress, countless. It's like she must work here.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. She's definitely a really nice haunt. She's really sweet and playful. She's always seen in the red dress, and she visits more when there are other little children around, as the restaurant is open to children daily until 5 p.m.
Okay, we got to bring our kids.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
She is known to manipulate things in the restaurant, and she even makes toys for other children.
That's so sweet.
She just is lonely, wants to play.
Oh, I like this little girl.
No one knows exactly who she is, but speculation is that she died in 1918 from the flu.
Oh.
Como News' Eric Johnson got a really good story. This is so fun, from a previous bouncer that worked at Kells.
Okay.
So this is in 2010 or 2011. His name's Josiah. He's a huge Samoan guy. He was working upstairs and close for the bouncers to rotate that night. So he was like almost end of his shift.
Okay.
He heard footsteps on the stairwell close to his right side, and he heard little feet running up the stairs.
Oh.
He got up, turned the corner, and said he could only see the feet going up the stairs, the little girl's feet, and the bottom of her red dress with white stockings and black shoes.
Oh.
He got on his earpiece and asked everyone, "Hey, somebody have kids here? There's a kid in this back stairwell. Somebody got their kid here." Another bouncer named Brett said, "There should be no kids here, period." So Josiah goes up the stairway about 2 flights all the way to the top, and it's a single doorway, so there's nowhere else this little girl could have gone.
Right.
The place is pitch black, and he froze. He walked into the little cold space and said it was freezing, and the hairs on his neck started standing up.
Oh.
He exclaimed, "Oh my God," and knew it was the ghost. He ran down the stairs.
Oh.
He said he was so scared, he was pushing people aside and yelling on his way to the front door of the bar that opens into Post Alley. He told the other bouncers the tale, and one of the McAleese family members said, "Oh my God, you just saw the ghost."
Ah.
So
I love
yeah.
it.
So after he recanted that story, he was like, I still get chicken skin just talking about it.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
So Kel's Irish Pub and Restaurant.
Let's go.
Okay.
I'm ready.
I've got one more. Yeah, I've got one more.
Sweet.
This is long though. Okay.
Okay.
Because I've got a lot of tales about it. Okay.
That's okay. Let's go.
Double Eagle Restaurant in Mesilla, New Mexico.
Oh.
Yeah, it's so pretty. Look at this huge, like it's gorgeous.
It is pretty. I think I know this place.
Really? You might.
I think I saw, oh gosh, I don't remember who it was, but I think I saw an investigation in this place.
You might have, because this is very haunted.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
If it's what I'm thinking it is, it's cool.
Yeah.
They brought a medium with them, and
fun.
she was pointing out, she's like, over here, standing in that doorway is this person. And so if it's who I think it is, I'll tell you.
Oh, this
when I
is
think-
exciting.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. All right. The Double Eagle Restaurant in Mesilla, New Mexico is deceptively small when looking at it from the outside, but the inside is rather large and opulent, decorated with turn of the century art, antiques, crystal chandeliers, and ghosts.
Yeah.
Built in the mid 1800s, the Double Eagle was once a home that was owned by the Mays family. Mother Mays, or La Senora, as we will call her from now, was very proud of her family, and they were very powerful at the time and in the import-export business. She was hoping that her teenage son, Armando, had a duty to uphold and to hopefully marry someone that could uphold the family name. Since the home was large and had a lot of upkeep, the family had a lot of servants. One was a very beautiful teenage girl named Inez.
Mm-hmm.
She had long flowing black hair that went all the way to her waist. Armando fell in love with her at first sight.
Yes.
But
this is
this it?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
But since she was just a servant, La Senora would never approve, so they kept their relationship a secret. The other servants soon found out, but kept it a secret as well. Alas, La Senora could tell something was up with her son, and he confessed his love for servant Inez. This sent his mother in a rage and forbade them to see each other and told Inez to leave. Armando had to marry aristocracy in Mexico City. Well, that didn't stop the star-crossed lovers. Mm-hmm. One day, La Senora left on a trip but returned early. And now, just side note, this trip on one story said he went to go find his next wife, and he did really quick, like a prominent person. So she returns fast. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yes.
The servants started acting really funny when she came home. No one knew where Armando was, and so she went straight to his bedroom, where they found him and Inez in a lover's embrace. Mm-hmm. La Senora was so enraged to the point where she basically blacked out with wrath. She stepped back onto the patio area and, stumbling over her sewing basket, found her sewing shears. She returned to Armando's room, where they were hastily dressing, and without a sound raised her shears and plunged them into Inez's breast. Mm-hmm. She pulled them out, went to stab her again, but Armando rushed to Inez's aid and drove the shears into his back. When Armando screamed in pain, it broke La Senora's trance, and she screamed and tumbled back. Both lovers died tragically. Inez immediately, Armando 3 days later after falling unconscious. They say La Senora never spoke again afterwards. Mm-hmm. This tragic story was pieced together by old tales, newspaper accounts, and even private diary entries. Mm-hmm. So you've heard this.
Yeah. I heard this.
This is crazy. I never heard about this.
Yeah. It was a good investigation.
Oh, I gotta see it.
I'll have to, I'll remember it, and then maybe we'll include it in the notes.
Okay.
So people can watch this
Yes.
investigation.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Because they go room by room and they talk about what happened in each room.
Oh, cool. I love it. Yes, I want to see it. The ghosts of Armando and Inez have been to linger in their former home, now restaurant, and never in malice. Tables left in one spot have been found in a different place the next morning. Wine glasses have been broken without sounding the motion detector's alarm. The most famous haunting at the restaurant that is spread throughout websites regards two armed Victorian chairs that sit in the Carlotta room, Armando's old room.
Yes.
Okay. These two chairs were reupholstered and were very rarely used. However, there are shapes that are well worn of two human bodies, one smaller and more feminine than the other. Now, the restaurant tells patrons not to sit in them so that the lovers have their own place.
Yes. Yes.
That is so crazy.
It's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have
How respectful they are of the people that lived there.
Yes.
In their home. Yeah.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
And you've probably seen this then, but the chairs are like,
yeah, they're
one corner,
beautiful.
one corner.
Yeah.
Here are some stories from restaurant workers from the website oldmessia.org. And this is so cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good story.
Yes. April 2002. Danny Villalpando, I'm going to say that, Villalpando was finishing setting tables in the Maximilian room about 11:30 p.m. He and manager Jerry Harrell.
Mm-hmm. Harold.
I can't talk today. He and manager Jerry Harrell were finishing closing the restaurant and were the only ones in the building. It had been a long day for Jerry, so he gave the keys to Danny and said to lock up when he was finished. Jerry said he would meet Danny in the morning to open and left. Not too much later, Danny realized someone was in the room with him. Danny's first thought was not of the ghosts, but that Jerry had forgotten to lock the front door and allowed someone to get in. Danny turned and saw a young Hispanic girl in a white linen shift walking out of the Maximilian room and onto the patio, going toward the Carlotta Salon, the ghost's room. Danny still did not realize what was happening and called out that the restaurant was closed, and while walking toward the patio himself. As he turned the corner into the patio, he could not find the girl. Danny checked all the doors. They were locked. No one could have gotten in. Danny was still not convinced and called out, "Inez, is that you?" Danny heard a girl's voice strongly accented say, "Danny." That was enough for Danny. He ran from the building and the next day made Jerry sign a written pledge never to leave him alone in the restaurant again.
Oh my gosh, that's good. Right? I like that one.
March 2003. Leslie Staley, a server in the Double Eagle, was the opening server for lunch. Other employees were in the back of the house, but she was the only one in the front public area. As Leslie was going about opening duties, she heard a girl's voice, strongly accented, say, "Leslie." Leslie raised her head and said, "Yes?" and looked around thinking one of the kitchen workers needed something. There was no one. Because the Double Eagle is an old home, it had a series of connecting rooms. So Leslie walked into the next room and looked around. Again, she heard "Leslie" coming from the connecting room. Leslie followed the voice and ended up hearing Leslie coming from the Carlotta Salon, the ghost room. She did not enter, but thinking the kitchen employees were playing a joke, turned and entered the kitchen. There she saw all the kitchen employees were working and all were male.
Oh, so no female
Inez,
yelling.
Man,
Inez is on it.
She's having fun. September 2003. Jerry Harrell, manager of the restaurant, was at the restaurant early one Monday in September 2003, before the 9:30 a.m. kitchen crew arrived and prepared for the 11 a.m. opening. Jerry received a phone call from a first grade teacher at Messia Elementary School. She said she was out on the plaza with 23 first graders, and the guide who was supposed to be there to talk about the Messia history was a no-show. She asked if Jerry could give a tour of the restaurant. Jerry said, "Sure, come on in." Jerry had already started the opening procedures, checking all rooms, turning on lights, checking the alarm system. So, with 23 first graders and a relieved teacher in tow, Jerry walked from room to room and explained the history of various pieces of art, talked about the chandeliers, the gold ceiling, the Billy the Kid artifacts. Finally, Jerry said this is the way to the ghost room. Jerry backed in, motioning for the kids to follow. Suddenly, Jerry was staring at the ceiling. A dining chair was no longer tucked under the table, but pulled right out into the walkway, and Jerry had backed right over the chair. Jerry had checked the room, and the chair was in its proper place not 30 minutes earlier. There were no other people in the building. Jerry received a thank you note from the class with artistic first grade renditions of a ghost pulling that chair out for Jerry.
I love it.
Cute,
That's
right?
cute. That was a cute
Sweet one. Couple more.
Okay.
October 5th, 2004. A gentleman who worked for the city of Las Cruces was entertaining some guests for lunch in the Carlotta room. The gentleman thought the room was getting colder. Colder and colder, he felt, but continued talking to his guests and wondering why no one else commented on the cold. Suddenly, he saw the curtains over the window moving with strong gusts of wind coming into the room. He realized now why the room was cold and got up to shut the window. As he brushed the curtain aside to get to the window sash, he realized the wall actually had no window opening to it. The wall was solid. A window frame and curtains had been hung on the wall to give the appearance of a window.
That's good.
As he stepped back in shock, he heard a young girl's laughter and turned around to see all of his guests staring at him.
Oh no.
Isn't that creepy?
That's so good.
That's so creepy. I'll be like,
I love that
that's
one.
not a window.
I
Oh,
love it.
One more. August 2003. A new assistant manager was hired at the Double Eagle. Much time was spent in training and the ghost story was mentioned briefly. The gentleman was a skeptic and said he thought it was all a bunch of bunk, just a story to sell the restaurant. The manager at the time said no one was asking him to believe anything, just to be aware of the story in case anyone asked. After working there for a week, it was the assistant manager's time to close the building up at night without supervision for the first time.
Good luck, buddy.
Yeah,
Nez is going to
right?
mess with you,
Yep.
man. I already feel it.
Yep. A customer had left about 2 glasses of wine in a bottle, and the assistant manager told the server that he knew what to do with it. He took the bottle and 2 clean glasses into the Carlotta room and set them on the table. He said to the ghosts, "Here, I've brought you some wine so you can enjoy the night." Laughing.
What a jerk.
Yeah, exactly. Laughing, he turned to the one remaining server and said, "We'll see in the morning if they had a good time." They walked to the back door, set the alarm system, including the motion detectors, and left for the night. Returning the next morning, the assistant manager disconnected the alarm system and walked directly to the Carlotta. He was stunned to see the bottle empty on its side. The 2 wine glasses were shattered in the fireplace. As he walked out the back door, he tossed the keys to the executive chef, Larry Campos, who was coming in, and said, "I'm not working here. Just mail me my check." And they did.
Oh, that's a good one
That's
to end
so
on.
fun,
That's
right?
so good.
So that's such a cool haunt because, again, it's not like a multiple ghosts. It's just Inez and maybe Armando just still hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's where they want to be. And it's pretty. It's a really
it's
pretty restaurant.
Beautiful, yeah.
So-
And there are lots of rooms that are connected, and there's
Yeah.
lots of stories and lots of history that in that Double Eagle. So
That's so cool.
that's cool. I love it. Oh, this
Yeah.
was such a fun story time today, Nicole. I
Fun
love it.
time.
Fun time. More jazz hands. Whee!
Jazz hands. That's like
new
our thing today.
Yay, jazz hands. Well, if you guys have been to any of these places, please send us your stories.
Please.
At theominousstitch@gmail.com. We want to hear from you. If you have any stories of your own, please let us know, because we would love to do a listener's episode.
We would. We really would. Yes,
We
please.
really, really would.
Yeah.
So send us anything that you got, because we want to hear from you guys,
Mm-hmm.
and we want to hear it, and we'll give you guys a shout out.
Shout out.
Shout out. That was such a fun story time. But
Yes.
are we ready for movie time?
Oh, I'm so ready for movie time.
It's movie time.
This week's movie,
Yes.
Insidious Chapter 2.
Yay! We're
Yeah.
returning back to the Insidious franchise.
Yeah, we did this a long time ago, right?
We did. This was one of our first episodes. I think the second episode.
We did
yeah.
Conjuring and then Insidious, I think. Yeah. So Insidious Chapter 2 was released in 2013. It got 6.5 stars on IMDb. The synopsis: the Lamberts believe that they have defeated the spirits that have haunted their family, but they soon discover that evil is not beaten so easily.
Dun, dun, dun.
So as you remember, if you watched this movie or heard us talk about it, they leave off with Josh, right? The dad.
Yeah, the dad, Josh.
Not being Josh.
Yes.
Yeah.
He wasn't him.
And Elise being
getting
murdered.
murdered. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Rose. Her name is
Byrne.
Rose Byrne.
Mm-hmm.
What is her name in the movie?
Renee.
Yeah. Renee thinks that she knows that Josh did it, and she is onto maybe that's not really my husband.
Yes.
So she knows something's off.
Right.
That's kind of where the last movie stopped.
Yeah, and it's good. I
Yeah.
love how they picked that up. And so now they're living with Josh's mom, just so that, you know.
And another gorgeous house.
Huge. Which at first I was like, why
Victorian
is this
mansion.
another huge mansion? And then you find out later, I was like, oh, it's because she's a doctor. But she's a single mom doctor.
Single mom doctor. Yeah.
But still affording this huge house.
Yeah.
which was crazy. But I guess it's just.
But
her
I mean,
and
it
her
was
son.
also in the
That's
80s
right.
or something when they
he was young.
when they had that house.
Yeah, you're right.
So she's had that house for a long time.
A long time.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so much I want to. There's some pros and cons that I want to get into, but I want to hear what you think. Like, or give us some good
good pros,
good
and,
pros,
or
or
bad
just like,
cons.
or just like some more synopsis, like glimpses into the movie from your point of view.
So it was nice to return back to this franchise and get some familiarity and some continuity with the story and continue on with what's going on and finding out what happens next.
Yes.
Especially with Josh and how are we going to get back to him? And what I loved about this movie is all the callbacks to the original movie, and they're going back. I love it when movies do this. Back to the Future did this, where they would go back to scenes from the previous movie and explain things that happened in those scenes. Yeah. And you get to see why that happened in this next movie.
Yeah, you're right.
So I'm like, oh, that was cool. That was cool. That was probably my favorite part of this movie is all the callbacks that they did. Okay. And there were quite a few.
There were a few.
Yeah. And, I love the comic relief of the two guys.
Yes.
They're so funny. What is the game that they play that we're going to start doing now?
Hunter, Ninja, Bear.
Hunter, Ninja, Bear. So it's their Rochambeau, right? They do Hunter, Ninja,
Rock,
Bear.
Paper, Scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors. Yeah. Oh,
and I had to think about it. I was like, okay, so the hunter kills the bear kills the ninja, and the ninja kills the hunter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's so fun. And then they had to do the they
have to pose.
Yeah, pose. Yeah.
So bear is, like Laura,
so they do this when they're visiting Elisa's house, and they're like, so they hear something creepy.
Yeah. And they don't want to go down
no
to
one
her,
wants to go
her room.
Yeah. So they had to do that. I love that too.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
So fun. But again, it's another James Wan. So you get the beautiful cinematography.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So James Wan does most of it. But there is, when I was looking, I forgot the exact names, which I'm terrible at. There's another writer for this, who wrote the screenplay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Lee. I think her name was Lee or him. I don't know. I'm so sorry.
Know. Okay.
But James Wan is mostly, in charge of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was pretty. It was and it was a good horror movie where they're the jump scares weren't really there too much, but it was still really ominous and scary, and
they had the nice suspenseful moments happening. So it was good.
What sticks in my mind is when the phone, the makeshift phone, he's Dalton's getting called to wake up, and it's I can't remember the characters' names, but it's not his brother.
Oh, the tin can phone?
Yeah.
Yes.
And he wakes up.
I'm not Forrest.
Yeah, I'm not Forrest. And he wakes up, and it's he starts pulling it.
And he starts pulling it, and he goes taut in the closet.
Yes.
Yeah. That was good.
That was so good.
That was good.
Okay, so I'm going to go into some pros, and you think about your pros too. We'll go back and forth.
Okay.
And then cons.
Well, those were my pros.
Oh, that was it? Okay.
Well, okay. We'll keep going. We might have more. You might have more.
So I thought this movie was way creepier than the first one.
Okay.
Because of the serial killer and because I know there's a demon in the first one, but this one
is a real tangible people.
Yes.
Are always way creepier because their motivation behind is way more twisted than if it's a demon, they're after souls.
Yes, and they're evil.
They're evil. We know that, but people
can be good or evil, right? And
so it's a super conscious choice, and
and the fact that it's motivated with him and his mother.
And that whole backstory is crazy,
right? That was insane. But the creepy guy when they're in the further.
Yeah.
And he's the one where he's I don't see anything. He's he's right in front of you.
Oh, yeah.
And he's he's got your baby.
He's got your baby. He's got your baby. He's got your baby.
Yeah. So that freaked me out. And then the makeup, how they aged Josh by when he was being inhabited by Parker.
Yes. And the way that he was his body was dying. It was deteriorating because his soul wasn't in there. And that's the whole thing with astral projection.
Yes.
If your soul isn't in your body, your body starts to deteriorate and decay and die.
And so the way they made it look, it was so good.
That was good.
That. Yeah.
It was really creepy.
And then the spooky hidden room full of victims.
Oh, I hated that so much.
But okay,
that was bad.
My thing is though, how were they all so preserved and sitting upright in this one room? Would you think bodies would start to die and they would just fall over, and so it would be this chaos of a room of victims, not all
considering how long ago these murders happened, because they've had to have happened in the 70s and 80s,
right?
Depending upon, because he
Yeah, 70s. Because he was being
Parker
haunted
died
by...
in the 80s.
Yeah, he was being haunted by Parker in the 80s.
Yeah.
So 70s, 60s, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what? That's 50 years at least.
Yeah.
These bodies would not be sitting upright.
So there must have been something to prop them up and make them stay in that position.
That's
yeah.
so creepy.
Yeah.
And then my last one pro is that there, which you haven't seen, which I'm going to make you see. There's elements of The Shining in this movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen The Shining.
Oh, so
well, the axe or the going
after their family,
breaking down the doors, yeah,
but being possessed.
Possessed,
like brain mentally just not there. Like
yeah,
in The Shining, it's not exactly the same, but those elements, that was very creepy. That really got me.
Yeah.
Okay. Cons.
Okay. She's like, these are my cons. She's like waving her finger at me.
I didn't like the ending with how Elise was able to destroy the mother in that way, and that made everything better. Like, how did that, like, it was just such an abrupt like ending of get her mother. She kills her with the rocking chair, and then everything's good.
Yeah. I mean, there was so much lead up to that point, and then it was resolved so quickly. Yes. You needed a bigger boss fight.
Yes. That's what I wanted. And it was just like, oh. Okay.
But they didn't have anywhere else to go.
That's true.
Outside of the further.
Right.
In the further, they could have done more.
Right.
But outside of the further, I don't think they could have pushed what was happening. They needed to pace that out a little bit more if you wanted more story, because they were out of time in the real world.
Right, because he was about to, So then, but like killing the mother, did it? Like, wasn't he, I don't know.
Well,
he was possessed by Parker.
Yeah, but Parker was
being controlled by
his mother. Because that was his whole thing when he was a serial killer, that he was being possessed by his mother. He was controlled by her.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
No, not at all. So, and then my other thought was, so the further is where you pass through to go to heaven or hell, right? Apparently.
Right.
So it's like a purgatory.
Yeah, it's like a purgatory. Yeah.
So then when she kills the mother, is that sending her to hell?
I'm assuming so, because the mother's
weird, right?
like just not there anymore. She's not in purgatory.
Yeah.
So it depends on this physical earth don't really know what happens when we leave our physical being. Right. And you touched on this because I was like, "Ooh, there's time travel happening in here."
Well, that's what I was going to point.
Are you going to point that too? Okay. And when you were explaining it to me on the phone, I was like, "Well, duh. I know all of this." And the reason why I know this is because when I've communicated with people that have gone on, they explained it to me pretty much the way that you explained it to me.
Yes, go me.
I don't know if I had told you that before or if you just got that all on your own.
I think it was a combination.
Okay.
Because it just made sense to me but like with hauntings, like in general hauntings, right? You have hauntings.
There's no time or space.
No.
So once you leave the physical world, the reason why time and space exists for us is because we are in a physical being. We have to have those constructs so that we can understand what's happening in our world around us. Like we have physical bodies, we have physical furniture, we have physical things. So time and space has to exist.
Right.
In this realm.
Yes.
But once we are outside of a physical being, there's no such thing as time and space.
So my question.
Yes.
Can they go into the future?
Yeah, because there's no time and space. Future doesn't exist. Past doesn't exist. They're everywhere.
Wouldn't that
at
like
all the
affect
time.
The future though? Like that's what I'm always so confused about, but I guess
I don't know because I have no memory of being in that realm. So I can't really understand everything that happens in that realm.
Okay. Well, anyway, that was kind of a big thing. It was like, can you go forwards as well as backwards?
Yeah, because there's no time or space.
Yeah.
It's just everything is everything at the same time.
So cool.
Yeah.
That's so neat.
So if you want to go play with dinosaurs, they're there. If you want to
cool. I want to go play with dinosaurs.
Travel on spaceships.
Wouldn't it be cool if like your spirit can go down into the ocean then and like swim with all those creepy like prehistoric? I don't know. My brain goes to the weird places.
Well, okay. In one of the visions that I've had while communicating with somebody that passed, it was at the ocean. She was at the ocean swimming with dolphins.
Right.
So she was playing with water animals.
But like
because she loved dolphins, and that was like. That was something to...
Can you explore... I'm just saying, can you explore the depths of other places when you're in a spirit spiritual realm? Can you go to like places you can never go?
I'm sure you can, because
That's
you
so
don't
cool.
have any physical limitations.
Right.
So that's the thing that we can't understand or really wrap our brains around, because we're in a physical
We can't go. Yeah.
realm,
We have
in a physical
limitations.
place.
Yeah.
We have limitations.
Right.
We have limitations of time and space.
Yeah.
But once you're out of your physical body, you don't have those limitations
That's so
anymore.
crazy.
So that's going to be a whole other
Right.
thing
Right.
that we will all experience at some point. Yeah.
Ah! I can't even fathom. Okay. Okay. Back to the movie.
Yes.
Now, one of my other cons. So I was watching this with my hubs. He pointed out that the back end of the movie, and I was like, oh, you're right. It feels like it was directed and filmed by someone else because the camera was so shaky. Do you remember that?
Oh,
Like
yeah, I
they're
wasn't
like running in the basement, or they're going down, and it's like the camera's like shaking everywhere.
So they were trying to make it like more
realistic, I
Yeah.
guess. But it was like maybe just like Blair Witch. I was like,
yeah, exactly.
I don't like this.
Exactly like Blair Witch.
Right?
Yeah.
So I was like, the continuity of how it's filmed, just maybe they're just trying to make it so intense at that end, like to shake the camera. But I don't think it was necessary.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really notice it.
Oh,
But to be fair, I was also crocheting at the time. So
that's okay. I forgive you on that one. Okay. Now, how is Renee, a small, frail woman, able to be thrown all over the place, right? And she still managed to get up so easily at the end, because when she's fighting Josh. But when the mother comes, that spirit mother, and she like hits her or whatever, and she just gets knocked out.
she's knocked out.
Like,
Movie.
yeah.
It's what furthers the story.
I know,
It's to
but
tell
that
the
really drove
story.
me crazy.
Well, I think maybe she was in so much shock from her baby,
right? But she's in
disappearing
shock
and
of
the woman,
seeing Josh, like knowing that he's not Josh anymore, right?
but that was not paranormal
Okay. Well, yeah.
at that time.
Yeah,
Do you know
you're
what
right.
I mean?
Mhm,
Because he's a physical being and posing a very
Right.
real physical
you're
threat
right,
to
you're
her
right.
and her kid. So that's what
really
I'm thinking.
scary
That
to have
mom's
some-
strength just like popped in.
Yeah,
You know
the
how like
adrenaline.
moms can
Yeah.
pick up cars,
Yeah,
you know, to
Okay.
save their kids. So I think that's what happened, is just she got that huge adrenaline shot.
Okay.
Like, I've got to protect my family.
Right.
And so that's how I'm explaining
I
it.
like
but
it.
really it's movie.
Yeah. So this movie kind of does that in spots where it just feels like it just leaves holes, I guess, here and there.
Yeah, and we got to the Parker thing real quick. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like it moved really fast.
Right.
Whereas the first movie had
Gives it a
a
little
much
bit more-
slower pacing.
Because he's in the, he's at like, it's
Because
because
it
of,
took a long time
Yeah.
to understand that, oh, this is an astral projection
Yes.
movie. It isn't just a haunting movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And this
That's
one,
true. And
you
now you
already
already
know
know.
there. So
Yeah.
it had to be like faster to get the story going.
I can get that. I can
So,
get that.
Yeah.
And that's it. My last one was the travel, the time travel, but we discussed that. So, but overall, right, it was pretty spooky.
It was spooky. I thought it was fun. I thought it was great to catch up with the characters again and see where their story continues. And I think it paced itself well.
Yeah.
And so I know that there's a third movie.
Yeah, Angela texted me. She's like, "What does she see at the end?" And I said, I got to watch the rest of it.
You're like, I don't know. I
I
haven't
don't
watched
remember.
the rest of it.
And then I watched. I was like, "Oh yeah, it's because there's a third Insidious."
So do we have a whole new cast then for the third?
kind of.
Because,
Yeah.
you know, Josh and Dalton
Are all resolved.
They're resolved.
Yes,
Yeah.
it circles around a little girl,
Okay.
a different character, but it goes
Okay.
back in time too, kind of.
Right. And then, but then we're keeping kind of Elise.
Yeah,
And
that's what I'm
so
saying.
we're centering around Elise.
Yeah,
and,
because
and
you
the two guys.
Yeah, because you go back into time. Actually, we go back before the family, and you see like it's Elise's like kind of like first or like big case.
Okay. So we're
So-
following Elise.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but it's cool.
That's awesome.
It's a good one, but it's not as memorable, I think, as the first and second installment.
Okay.
So,
All right.
But anyway, how many stitches do you give it?
This was good. I don't remember what I rated the first one, but I'd probably put it around like 7-ish.
Yeah.
It was good. It
yeah,
was fun. I'd watch it, and I did, and I enjoyed it, and it was good.
And
But
you'll
it
probably see it
wasn't
again.
like, it wasn't scary. I don't know if I'm getting immune to
Uh-oh.
these things, or if I kind of
No.
knew
What's gonna-
where the pacing was going with it. I mean, the story was cool because
Yeah.
I did, it is a different story because it is a serial killer, and it's
Right.
not, and we find out who that person is that was haunting Josh, why they were haunting Josh, and it resolves that story.
Mm-hmm.
So that was cool to see their story resolved and to just see what happens with the people. And, you know, there's still crazy hauntings that were going on, and that was still cool.
Chairs
but I think maybe because I knew more of what to expect from this type of movie, I was prepared, and it wasn't like tiptoe
which
anymore,
that was pretty good,
right?
yeah.
So yeah, I was more ready for this. I think.
Okay. I give it a 7 too.
Hey,
we're on the same wavelength.
Look at us go. Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with all of you. But I mean, I still try to watch movies with open eyes because I've seen all these, right? But I still try to with fresh eyes. So it still was really freaky. Like I was touching up on those certain moments. So, but yeah, there's holes. So 7.
Okay, 7.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good movie.
Good movie. All right.
All right. Well, that was another super fun episode, Nicole. I love it.
I love it too.
All right. Well, Stitchers, thank you for joining us for another amazing episode. Episode 19.
19.
Yeah. And please reach out to us at theominoussstitch@gmail.com.
Yes.
Comment on any of our social medias.
Please.
Catch up with us. We want to know what's going on with our community. We want to know what's going on with you. And if you want to support us and help keep us going, because we have a lot more yarn to buy. We have a lot more things to keep going.
Storage on our computers.
Yeah, I'm out of storage on my computer, guys. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So anyway, please support us on Patreon. So you can find it on our Podbean. So if you visit Podbean and look up The Ominous Stitch, it'll take you right to the Patreon page.
Yeah.
And you can just give us any kind of donation.
Please.
We will shout you out.
Oh my gosh.
We will make you something.
You'll get things from us. Yay.
Yeah.
All right.
And I guess that's it.
Yeah.
So with that being said,
See ya, Stitchers.
See ya, Stitchers.